My son, you are adopted. Like, let me answer this right now. But it is with great displeasure that I announce I did see the mural. I saw the mural, and that's about it. I know there is a mural. I don't know what the mural is. I don't know what is in the mural, but I know that there is a mural. Chapter 1138. The Harley. It was Who's Who all along. Is this entire cover story just meant to be a pun? Please don't tell me Oda wrote a return to Wano just to do a little pun with like, who's who stealing the people? Oh, it's been Who's Who all along. I still don't know what's going on here, by the way. Is this a sword I should recognize? Because the scabbard does look something like I should be recognizing. But I'm not sure. Lore relevant, so it could be interesting. I do think Who's Who is going to be important later on, right? Like, there's a reason why he was the one delivering all the Who's Who lore in Wano. But I've got no idea, like, where this is headed in the long term. Anyway, let's keep going. Who's Who is the culprit all along, I'm surprised? Same. It was Who's Who all along. Okay. It's time. We are back with Loki. Loki is very big mad, very big sad. So, what is the situation now? I'm still not 100% about what their plan is. If like Loki never agrees with them, what was their next plan? They called in the world government. What happens now? For as much as you look like him, you gotta be related to that red hair pirate. I mean, obviously. I'm just looking around in the background if there's anything else I can spot. Hold your tongue, that's nothing you need to know. True, it ain't my business, but... A great pirate and a celestial dragon stand on opposing sides of the world power. The fact that that you have the same face is bound to draw curiosity. One of the things I'm very interested in is whether or not there has actually been confusion about who Shanks is and who this guy is. Because, like, a lot of the time we've talked about how Shanks teleports across the world and it's sometimes a bit weird, right? Does everyone in the world actually know that Shanks has a big scar across his face? I want to say that yes. But then again, I can see people confusing the scar for something else and just seeing someone that clearly looks like Shanks. So I don't know if this has been a source of confusion or not. Yeah, exactly, it is literally his Jolly Roger, absolutely, but he has the same face, you know? Because I'm just thinking about purely in the real world. You see someone that even looks remotely the same as someone else, and you are kind of like, are you that person? And if you were literal twins, and one of you is missing a scar, could you be like, I don't know. You cannot mistake him for a pirate? That's also true, like their drip is completely different. And I would assume that Shamrock is also not just like sailing around and letting people see him. But I don't know. I'm just thinking like, has there ever been confusion about this? The arm is another one. He has an arm. Anyway, that pirate is my estranged younger twin brother. He returned to the Holy Land once, but he seems to prefer the filth of the lower world. Returned? I see that your bloodline has earned my ire twice over. How fascinating, the two separated brothers should each be targets of my wrath. You'll rule this day, once I get these chains off. What does returning to the Holy Land mean? How does that even work? You cannot mistake two-armed dripped-out gentleman with one-armed homeless man? When you put it like that... Going to Marie Joam? Yeah, but like, wouldn't he be like immediately the rat allegations? Yeah, like, how does this work? And why did he try going back? You know? Like, for what reason would he ever even want to go back? That's what I'm interested in. He just went there at some point, similar to Doflamingo, I imagine, although with a different intention. Maybe. I do think confronting family or learning about them could make sense. Yeah. It could be like, brother, you have to join me. Take my hand, brother. We have to go. That makes sense. But other than that, I'd be very interested in for what reason would he ever go back. Maybe related to Shanks' question to Roger. That's true. What if the reason he cried is because Roger told him about where he comes from, and that he's actually a noble, and that he was just left behind? Because Roger knew that he was dying, right? So, could be that. Then again, it would also be kind of like, my son, you are adopted. Like that's kind of messed up. Like, Roger comes back, my son, you are indeed adopted, and not only are you adopted, your brother is a noble, a world noble, and you are sailing around with me on this ship. Oh no. Your family's kind of cringe, something like that. Okay. You know what'll happen, don't you? I watched my friend's fate decided before my eyes, and now I bear the cost of it. You dream of threatening me? Commander, don't let him. Indeed. It's not worth dirtying my own hands. You do it. Cerber... Number 1, a devil-infused sword. Finally! We have a devil fruit-infused weapon. Finally! I've been waiting so long for this. Number 1, does this imply that they can finally reproduce it consistently, or is this just another weapon? Number 2, CERBERUS is the guardian of hell. So, is this just a thing that he is protecting the 5 elders, or is there something even more to him? That's what I'm interested in. It could be just that he's like a dog on a leash, you know? But that goes so freaking hard. Mythical Zone sword. I mean, it has to be, right? Also, it has a swirly boy. Zoro is getting that sword to become the king of hell with the sword as its guardian. I mean, if this happens, I will die of joy. Sword is black. It is. And I assume this one isn't colored with paint. Twin blades. What if there are 2 brothers and there are twin swords? One is the sword of the Griffin, and the other is the sword of the underworld. Now that would go hard. And another thing, he has his devil fruit in the sword. Is this something to do with why they don't have devil fruits? Shanks' sword called Griffin for a reason. That's what I'm thinking as well. What if there's like a sword of the skies and a sword of the underworld? Because the thing I've always thought about is, like, if there is a way of infusing devil fruits into weapons, right? One of my first ever theories about Blackbeard, you can go back to like Ennie's lobby or something. I was talking about his rings. Because I thought Blackbeard's thing would be collecting devil fruits and infusing the devil fruits into his rings. And he could literally walk around with like 10 devil fruits. It would be insane, right? And on that line of thinking, what if there is an entire army of God Knights that all have devil fruit infused weapons, and none of them have the devil fruit, which means they are completely free to travel the sea, and they can just destroy ships because they're never gonna drown. They can just sail around, wipe out a ship, GG's, job's done. They won. Griffins are known to be for protecting treasures, same as Cerberus protects hell. I think if there are twin blades and twin brothers, that would go unfathomably hard. It would be like Dante and Virgil. Dante and Virgil don't have twin swords, but still, there is like the whole brother vibe. My money is that it's not a sword, but Shamrock. Shamrock Gorsei like powers, but he needs some transmitter to use it. I don't know. It could be that Oda wants to make Shamrock a sword user, but he also wants to give him a devil fruit. But I am leaning on the side of this is the sword. It's 100% a sword. I think it's a sword. Interestingly enough, the Cerberus sword doesn't have an Oda box. Yeah, I noticed that. There is nothing about the devil fruit is even said. There is no mythical zone, whatever. It's literally just Cerberus in a very weird font, by the way. The font is very weird. Imagine if Shamrock has another devil fruit. I have been talking about this what if people had multiple devil fruits forever. I am waiting for someone to appear, to have a devil fruit, and to have rings with devil fruits, to have an artifact of a devil fruit, to have a sword with a devil fruit. I am just expecting for all of these different things that have like multiple devil fruits. I think it would go unfathomably hard. So yes. I do think like it would be weird for Oda to foreshadow weapons eating devil fruits for ages and then just toss that in for favor of stuff introduced last arc. I do think like the fact that it was introduced and it was never really used properly, like you would have to make it come back for now, right? Like there was a dude in Eni's lobby, like a low tier commander with a devil fruit infused sword. If there's anyone who's going to have devil fruit infused weapons, it would be these guys. Like, it was Spondum, and it was the random dude in Alabasta, right? Those are, like, the two only ones we've ever seen. There was, like, the dog cannon or whatever. Imagine if Zoro slowly starts replacing and fusing all the swords with devil fruits. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Maybe Emu gave that power. I am, like, when we're talking about, like, Emu manifesting their powers, I do still think there is a degree of like hypotheticals there, right? Like that was my original theory why I thought all the elders had basically the same exact forms, right? They appeared with the same exact circly boy, they had their forms numbered, and then Emu disenchanted Saturn. So the person who could instantly affect Saturn was Emu, telepathically, from across the world. So for me, that is like hook, line, and sinker. This is Emu's power, right? But at the same time, we have people like Shamrock and whatever her name is running around, and like their fruits seem kind of vastly different. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It would make sense if as a government technology only the upper echelon have access to it. That's what I think, yeah. Emu gives powers of creatures from nightmares to his subordinates in exchange for souls of life. That's what I think. But I don't think there is enough proof for that. I think a deal with Emu is a deal with the devil. I think... Let's go full... I think this is gonna be like tragic irony once again, basically, right? I think the devil fruits were demonized by Emu. I think they made out devil fruits to be sources of nightmares because they fulfill dreams, right? As a government, you don't want people fulfilling their dreams because you have no control over them. That's why they became devil fruits, right? Then we're gonna cut out five chapters of my yapping. TLDR, I think eventually we're going to learn that Emu is manifesting these devilish forms, and the devil was him all along, basically. And I do think when you're making a deal with Emu, you are making a deal with the devil and you do give up your soul. Again, Saturn being disenchanted. That's what I think. And this whole soul thing mostly stems from... I'm gonna go back into this. The soul thing stems from this. The fact that we have a literal skeleton on our crew who talked about his soul finding its place back from the underworld, which makes no sense. What do you mean? This has been my thesis statement ever since Thriller Bark. So yes, when Spondum's sword transformed, it did not have the black lightning fog around it. This is like, yeah, this is like a awakened form. Wait, why are we even talking about... He literally says, it's my sword. He literally says it's his sword. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. It's clearly his sword. It is his sword. Look at the next chapter. It's obviously his sword. It's obviously his sword. Whoa, that's creepy. What's wrong with them? Extinguish your presence, Commander. We need to move. Can I just say this is one of the coolest things I've seen in One Piece, and I'm not even joking. I'm gonna be real. The freaking extending hand up to like his shoulder height, and the Cerberus just appearing, flexing on Loki, and just being like, okay, fine, I'm out. This is already one of the coolest things I've seen in the entire series. I'm gonna be real with you. If you should survive, come and kill me. I'll be ready for you. Wait a damn second. God damn. I am so on board with this. I am so on board with this. I really, really hope... I really, really, really hope this is not... Because I'm thinking about why Oda did this. Nothing happened. Why Oda did this. I swear to God, if this is a tease for something to happen in 100 chapters, Oda... Because he just showed off his devil fruit power and that's it. Oh wait, never mind. You have to be joking. You don't mean it. Even I can't handle getting run through by those Curse you, celestial dragon! And damn you to hell! What a bozo. I thought he dismissed them. Oh, arrow fruit really looks versatile, it seems. Yeah, like, people like, because I talked about this last chapter, and I saw some people saying that, like, the arrow fruit is not confusing at all, it's very simple, and I'm just like, are we talking about the same arrow fruit? Like, this arrow fruit genuinely doesn't seem to have, like, any limitation, essentially. She can just create an arrow of anything, and she creates, like, a manifestation of intentions. It's wild. It genuinely looks like a JoJo stand. Like, I'm gonna be real. Gongo's power is really interesting. I really like the arrow power a lot, but I'm not a huge fan of her design. So I'm like 50-50. Vector fruit? It is kind of insane. Pacifying them all at once will be too hard. We need to get to those, get to the warrior's children first. Shamrock? Call one more. Very well. Which one? One more what? What are you calling in? Are they calling in another one of the God Knights, or are they calling in... I think the implication is that they're calling in another God Knight. But are they? Another rat? I think it's, like, the most obvious implication is definitely another God Knight, yes. But what if Seraphims pop up? What if they're calling in Seraphims? What if they're calling in an Elder? Who knows what they could be calling in? I think it's probably God Knights. God Knights is the most likely option. How do they know where to go to kidnap kids? Means they have a traitor on Elbaf. I do think there could be a chance that they're going to, like, they have a traitor, but I do think there's also a chance of them just seeking out kids and taking them hostage. I think it could also be as simple as that. One more implies there already one or more there. I guess you're right. Like, I do think it's probably a God Knight, yeah. Aurust Castle Elbaf. I still don't know how to say it. I know what I saw. It was red hair. A liar! Shanks wouldn't beat you guys up without a good reason. He would beat you up, but not without a good reason. But it's true. I'd recognize him. So remember what I said about? And you told me he has one arm. I told you there'd be confusion about this. Okay. I'd recognize him anywhere. Red hair has been to Elbaf many times. Yeah, I guess you would. Shanks is really cool. This guy must have looked just like him. Imagine how funny if it would be if everyone confuses Shamrock for Shanks, except Luffy. Luffy, who has forgotten, like, every single person he's ever met, but Shanks is the one he's like, nah, like, yeah, they look the same, but clearly one is not Shanks. We were shocked to see him. We thought, what's he doing inside the castle? Red hair was just an Elbaf, right? So it's not out of the question that he would still be in the area. But if what you're saying is true, that wasn't Shanks. Shanks is a cheerful guy who isn't full of himself, and he never does anything messed up like that. You trust him so much. Very cute. Oh yeah, of course I do, Nami. Wouldn't you be mad if someone said stuff like that about about Mollymere? You mean Bellamere? Luffy is fuming. One of them lost his arm because of him. Would it be funny if Luffy would meet him and just thinks he healed and took a bath? I have another one for you. What if he starts asking about what kind of milk he drank? Because you know, like, the whole gag of Luffy drinking milk and his teeth regrow? Maybe this is like, oh, Shanks, what's the milk? Oat milk? Almond milk? Coconut milk? So I guess they were two identical people. Maybe they were brothers. Shanks's brother? I guess that could be true. But I've never heard him talk about his family. Just that he was on a pirate ship ever since he was little. Who the hell is this? Oda. Who is this? Shiki? I still don't know who it's supposed to be. It's the guy on the cover story, right? Cover story, Shiki, One Piece. I mean, he's exactly the same. Is this dude right here? We've talked about this dude before, right? Like, it's exactly the same. But who the hell is this? Ripley's husband? I've seen people talk about that, yeah. Definitely Scopper. The implications are when are there when Luffy talks about Roger and Rayleigh. Could be, could be, could be. Shanks' mom? For sure. It's because gold, Roger, silver, Rayleigh, and copper. I'm gonna keep reading the chapter. I thought Roger and Rayleigh and those guys were his family. The Roger Pirates? Aside from Buggy. Yeah, I've got no idea what it's supposed to be. Team Frankie, Jewel Tree Atom Tour. Here, there, everywhere, it's all Atom. I guess this wood's not that rare after all. Well, you should use it to upgrade the Sunny. Is it really that valuable across the sea? Why is Frankie a action figure? Why did Frankie suddenly become a little action figure being carried around? Like, he's literally just carry me around. It looks so cursed. He's so chill with it. He is. He's just like, carry me around. What are we looking at? Literally no emotion. Hands just dangling there. He's just vibing. This looks so cursed. I do think it's going to be used for the Sunny though. Guys, settle down. Settle down. Deep breaths and settle down. Settle down. Maybe I should go into business and start selling it. You're the one who should be Wait, you're the one who should be stopping it, Ripley. Saul already scolded me once. This is a holy tree. Don't you go cutting pieces of it loose now. Ah, good impression. Anyway, if you have to cut the wood and haul it off without any giants noticing, I guess that explained the price. I do think it's going to be used for the Sunny. I think so. Should have been me. Relax. Relax. No. No, why did it have to be? Nothing. Please tell me someone else is gonna see it. It's gonna be Frankie who sees the mural? No shot. Also, wait a minute. Do I count this as a W for myself? Hold up. It is a mural in the World Tree. Do I count this as a W for the Well of Mimir? I don't think so, because it's not really the same. But it kind of is. Gonna count this as a half W. Okay, let's get to it. So this is the thing that I saw. There are children's drawings from the ancient past, carved into the fossilized tree bark. It's a cultural relic due to its historical value. Really? Kids' scribbles? They're estimated to have been drawn somewhere between 800 and 900 years ago, which, if correct, puts them right within the period of the Void Century. What? We gotta show this to Robin! True and real. I'll tell her about it later. I gotta say, for a drawing from Elbaf, they don't all look like giants to me. Guys, why is there a panel that has been slit in 3 sides? One of them is obviously Shirahoshi. Obviously that is Shirahoshi. Are those the other ancient weapons? Or am I creating a pattern where there is no pattern? Okay, I'm gonna keep reading. That's right. In the history we're familiar with, there were sometimes wars between races, but never cultural exchange. Oh, so it would be fishmen, it would be giants, I guess, and it would be weird. I don't know what that's supposed to be. It could also be Emmet. Yeah, it could also be Emmet. Okay. Maybe that simply means this was nothing more than a child's dream. Am I not gonna see the mural? Okay, hold on. Minx? Oh, it could actually be Minx, yeah. Oda's dream when he was a child? I really hope you are right. I think if this is like Oda's way of saying this is basically my dream, that would go unfathomably hard. Okay, what is this? The Walrus School. Listen up, children. We're in the middle of a lesson. Wait, that's it? I thought there was going to be something else. The Owl Library. So, this is the Harley. Sure is. All the various myths and legends of Elbaf were created based on the original text, since there are so many interpretations of it. Wow, it's huge and old and dusty. True and real. And it means the sun god all the warriors of Elbaf believe in, has a different personality depending on who tells the story. Ain't that funny? May I read it? Of course, that is The story split up into 2 chapters. They say the 3rd chapter describes the world we live in today. Funny you mentioned that, because there was also the pre-time skip saga, the post-time skip saga, and now the final saga. We too are in the final, or rather, final and 3rd chapter of the supposed story. Funny you mentioned that, Oda. Funny how that works out, isn't it? Funny how you mentioned that. Describe the world we live in today. It's about something that's gonna happen in the future. In fact, the legends of Nika are seeded all throughout the world. The one common feature is that he always shows up laughing to this rhythm. Doom da da, doom da da. I like how Robin's just like, hee hee. Okay, but can I read it now? It's like literally me right now. It's like, okay, can I see it though? The first world. Within the earth, there was fire. Mankind. Huh? Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Here we are. Cinemas. Okay. Okay, let's read. You know it's getting real when we switch fonts. Before I even look at the mural, I can already see like 15 things. Okay, let me read this. Oh my god. The first world. Within the earth, there was fire. Mankind succumbed to greed and touched the forbidden sun. The enslaved prayed, and the sun god appeared. The earth god raged, and with its serpent of hellfire, shrouded the world in death and darkness. And they will never meet. Okay, let's read. The second world. Within the void, there was breath. The forest god tamed demons, and the sun appeared. The sun spread the fires of war. Those of the half-moon dreamed. Those of the moon dreamed. Man killed the sun and became god, and the sea god stormed, and they will never meet. The third world. Within the chaos, there was emptiness. The inconvenient remnants recall the promised day and hear the voice of the half-moon. The sun god dances and laughs, guiding the world to its end. The sun returns and brings a new morning, and they will surely meet. Half moon is D? I think so too. I think the half moon is D. Absolutely. The question is, they will never meet. They will never meet, and they will surely meet. What is a half moon plus a half moon? That's a full moon. Okay, let me look at the mural, because I can already see. Let me turn this down a little bit. So this is way too loud. Okay, let me turn this down. So I see Joy Boy or Nika. There is a dude with a wobbly hand, a sword, and a shield. That is obviously Nika. I see what looks to be Loki with the helmet. Why he has a spear, I've got no idea. I see Emmett. I think that is Emmett. I see Shirahoshi. I see the what are they called? The people of Zou, Minx. I see a big fish. What else is there? That is obviously the Noah. Is that Emu? Also, hold up. So there is Noah with animals, but there is also Zunisha. Within Zunisha, there is Noah. And the Noah is bringing people up from the underworld. So like Noah's Ark, I guess. But in that, there is also a person with wings. Is that a Lunarian? No, that is just someone from a sky island, because a Lunarian is falling from the skies with fire. Also, there is a dragon in the sky. A celestial dragon. There is a dragon among the stars. A celestial dragon. And yes, there is also the Arc Maxim thingy. Let me think about this. Within the earth there was fire. Mankind succumbed to greed and touched the forbidden sun. The enslaved prayed and the sun god appeared. The earth god raged, and with its serpent of hellfire shrouded the world in death and darkness. And they will never meet. Touch the forbidden sun. So, also, what? Frankie is blocking out the bottom of the world tree. Why is that? Why did Oda not show us the bottom of the world tree? The music is so goofy. And also, it goes up, falls down. I mean, right here we have... there's so many things on this panel. So, there are people carrying the flag of Nika, right? It's the same thing. It's the star with the circles. But why is what looks to be Loki? And what is with this, they will never meet? They will never meet. And they will surely meet. The oceans get divided so they can't meet? You think it's about the earth got raged and with its serpent of hellfire shrouded the world in death and darkness? You think it's like creating the red line? This theme song fits so well. I knew I would get good use out of it. The sun god and the moon and the eclipse. The thing that really gets me caught up on this is the half moon. The voice of the half moon. And they will surely meet. When the two half moons meet, you get a full moon. Right? That's what I'm like getting really, really stuck up on. Because Luffy has been under the sun and Luffy has been under the moon many times in terms of symbolism. And also, is this supposed to be Emu? Because he is touching the sun, right? Or is this supposed to be one of the weird creatures in the Florian Triangle? Because it's a very, very big shadowy mob. I don't even know. And also, why are people bringing up like fire from the underworld, putting it into a weird machine that powers the serpent? Okay. I have a grand theory. Many, many, many moons ago, there existed all kinds of different people. All kinds of different people with all kinds of different abilities that could do different things. Then came man. Man that spread throughout the world like a virus, consuming everything in their wake. They were jealous of the different kinds of peoples, and so they created machines. Machines that they started producing weird things, and the serpent could actually be an outcome of ancient technology. And they created the red line to basically conquer the world through tech. And that is why even today, they have weird and wacky powers. Now, I think there is a weird, magical angle to this with souls. Because why are they taking stuff up from the underworld? That's what gets me, because they're using something that gets pushed out of the underworld. I think this is more so about the greed of the world government, and they basically, with technology, they wanted to basically conquer the world. And the machinery basically allowed them to do that. And through that, they plunged it into a dark age because they basically messed with a power that shouldn't have ever been messed with, right? And that's what this is. They touched the Forbidden Sun. They touched something that should never be touched. They basically use like dark magic or something that shouldn't be trifled with, right? You could say the Forbidden Sun, you could say that is the soul. They messed with the soul of being, they messed with the soul of life, they messed with life itself, right? The Forbidden Sun. The enslaved prayed, and the sun god appeared. He basically brought freedom for them in a way, right? The earth god raged, and with a serpent of hellfire shrouded the world in death and darkness. With the void there was breath. The forest god tamed demons. The little garden on Emu's throne, the one that Emu spends time in, the forest god tamed demons. The forest god tamed demons, and the sun spread the fires of war. They dug too deep and unleashed the monster we see on the left, possibly Emu. I think there is a degree of messing with something that is like actually hellish. Forest god, fruit grows on trees, devil fruits. It could be that. It could be that. It could be that. The forest god tamed demons and sun spread the fires of war. I'm just thinking, like, is there an actual chronological order to this story? Because my knee-jerk reaction was that yes, but maybe not. I do think the forest god tamed demons and sun spread the fires of war. I think that is probably devil fruits. Those of the half moon dreamed. Those of the moon dreamed. Man killed the sun and became God, and the sea god stormed, and they will never meet. Within the chaos there was emptiness. The inconvenient remnants recall the promised day and hear the voice of the half moon. The sun god dances and laughs, guiding the world to its end. The sun returns and brings a new morning, and they will surely meet. The sun... Within the earth there was fire. Mankind succumbed to grief and touched the forbidden sun. The sun returns and brings a new morning, and they will surely meet. Touch the forbidden sun. The thing that gets me like really, really intrigued is touched the forbidden sun. The forbidden sun. Is that the temptation of power of some kind? Like, I'm just thinking, like, how literal is it? That's what I'm interested in. How literal is it supposed to be? Did they exactly, like, if this is the mother flame and there is an eternal flame and they used it for this futuristic technology, did someone turn it into a weapon? Right? Man touched the forbidden sun. This is stealing the fire from the gods. A lot of people liken it into the real world to a nuclear bomb. You have a lot of this power and someone makes a bomb, right? So is this that? Did they have this futuristic technology and one of them decided to conquer the world? That would be the literal interpretation. But succumb to greed and touch the forbidden sun, the enslaved prayed and the sun god appeared. The other scan is so different, try reading it. Where do I read it? I've got no idea where to read it. First I viewed as Adam's apple. That's what I mean, right? Like, because touching the forbidden sun, this would also be like falling to temptation, the forbidden fruit, all of that, right? So I don't know how literal it's supposed to be. Enshrouded the world in death and darkness, and they will never meet. Within the void there was breath. The forest god tamed demons, and the sun spread the fires of war. Those of the half moon dreamed. Those of the moon dreamed. Man killed the sun and became God, and the sea god stormed, and they will never meet. So, hypothetically, I'm not sure about the first world. The second world, my current interpretation is that the world government appeared. They tamed devil fruits. And then there was war. The sun spread the fires of war. They stole the sun. Those of the moon dream. Man killed the sun and became God. This is Emu. And the sea god stormed. This is the curse of the devil fruits. And they will never meet. Within the chaos there was emptiness. The inconvenient remnants recall the promised day and hear the voices of the half moon. The inconvenient remnants is the people of Okura, yada yada yada. The people who remember. And the people who hear the voice of the half moon. The sun god dances and laughs, guiding the world to its end. This is obviously Luffy, leading probably to Ragnarok in some capacity. The sun returns and brings a new morning, and they will surely meet. So how did Emu come to power? Within the earth, there was fire. Mankind succumbed to greed and touched the forbidden sun. The enslaved prayed, and the sun god appeared. The earth god raged, and with its serpent of hellfire shrouded the world in death and darkness. And they will never meet. That's what gets me. How did Emu kill the sun and become God? Vegapunk said he flew so close to the sun. I do think it's meant to be analogous, or like a comparison to basically a nuclear bomb. Yeah, I think so. Because like the ancient weapons are basically that, right? So I do think that is that. But the first world is what gets me really, really. Because, like, it does seem like these are people bringing something up from the hellfires below. They are bringing it up one by one by one. They are being led by this king who has subjugated all of these animals, all of these people with wings. He has subjugated Zunisha, everything. And these people are fueling his war machine, right? That is this entire futuristic city. But the forest god... Sounds like devil fruits were created in the second world, but the sun god existed in the first world. That's what I'm thinking too. Killing the previous sun god, then more moral literal interpretation, having moving the moon into a long eclipse. Killing the previous sun god? I mean, there is the big straw hat, right? There is a big straw hat in Marie Joie, and I still think that the straw hat is meant to be a symbol of protecting you from the sun, right? So if there was a day when the sun was shining bright and you needed protection from the sun, Emu having the hat could be like he slayed the sun, in a way. But I don't know if that's supposed to be that literal. And also, hold up, look at the mural. When you have like the weird long boy devil holding onto the sun, he has a boat with people on it. And the people seem to be wearing helmets. Those don't look just like helmets. Those look like space helmets. The 6 Elder Stars? Oh no, those look like space helmets. One of them jumped ship, so there's only 5 left. Jesus Christ. I think Oda made a drawing that is actually like... Because you can definitely see he was squeezing stuff in. This is not like a Oda making filler. I think every single thing in this entire painting is important. In chapter 986, the Sea Kings talk about the upcoming birth of the sovereign. I don't know how to say that name in English. But they also talk about the birth of another in a distant land who they've been waiting for a really long time. Like, the thing that is really interesting is the fact that around like the big devil creature, there's also the spiky boys. And those are the same spiky boys that people are bringing up from the underworld. And also look at this. There are people with halos coming up from the underworld. But they, like the halos disappear. When they're standing side by side, the halos are no longer there. Did they dig too deep? Going down, coming up with energy? Yeah, but what is that energy? Because the only thing we've seen with the underworld is souls. There hasn't really been mentions of an underworld beyond that. Chapter One Piece. Let me open it up on the stream browser. One Piece. Chapter 292. What is this? To meet like the half... Oh my god. Cinema. I'm gonna be thinking about this for a long, long time. I have talked about prophecies, okay? Oda said, my boy Koroto, I got you. Within the flame, there was fire. Mankind succumbed to greed. This sounds like Dark Souls. Like, actually, I have this on dial as well. Within the earth, there was fire. Mankind succumbed to greed and touched the forbidden sun. Actually, Dark Souls. I should have actually played this. This is more like the friggin', like, the first world, second world, third world. Jesus Christ. Actual cinema. The only thing I'm very confused about is the first world. Mankind succumbed to greed and touched the forbidden sun. The enslaved prayed and the sun god appeared. Is this just technology? Is this succumbing to the greed of technology and wanting to enslave the other people? That's what I think it is. I think they created this futuristic kingdom. I think they used the ancient weapons that they constructed by using some means that are not exactly good. They enslaved the different kinds of people. Probably most of all the Lunarians. I think they took over the Lunarians' homeland, and I think they might have been the first ever people to be enslaved even. Prometheus? I do think it's something like that. Man stole fire from the gods. What is Sandman tweeting? Let me look at the old Sandman. Sandman AP. The Wiz translation is good. Peak fiction. Ode to 2002, just to create 3 pages of the picture book Liar Noland, I stayed at my studio and spent 15 more hours than usual, and I'm satisfied. The Wish translation is good. A good passage about the third world is related to the chapter 292. It is written in an old Japanese waka from about 1,000 years ago and means, just like old half moon hidden behind clouds. I wonder if there is... Because a lot of times in the story, we've also seen people, like, part the clouds. Part the clouds, part the skies, part the earth, even. Whenever people of the DNA meet, something big happens. Why? Lunarians lived on the Red Line until the Void Century, Second World? Yeah, that would have to be true, right? Because that's when... Yeah, actually, that's true. So Lunarians wouldn't probably be the first one that people that they enslaved. Lunarians were probably like the one where Emu actually ascended to the Red Line. Buccaneers might be slaves. You might be right. It wouldn't be Lunarians. Yeah, because the Lunarians were only atop the Red Line, and Emu ascended the Red Line only then. And that's when he became God. Another weird and wacky theory. This one's gonna be microwaved real quick. Real quick. What if Lunarians... No, but surely not, right? Like, no, there's no way. No, that doesn't make sense. I thought that maybe, like, Lunarians were a part of some kind of ancient experimentation of some kind, and then they sort of revolted against Emu, and that's when he killed Sun and became a god. No, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, I think conquering Marie Joie and basically wiping out Lunarians would have been when he killed the sun and became god, I think. But the first world, if Emu only rose to power during the second world and those fruits also came to be by technology of dreams during the second world, how the hell did the Red Line get created? That's interesting. That's interesting. That's interesting. That's interesting. Because the interesting thing about the serpent is also that, like, there's obviously, what's his name? In Norse mythology, there's the giant serpent. It's one of the most important things in Norse, right? What's it called? This guy, right? Like the fact that it's a serpent is also kind of... And keep in mind, like, this entire mural would have also been... Because the first world would be continents, right? The first world would be continents. So if you wanted... I can't get over the within Earth there was fire, mankind succumbed to grief and touched the forbidden sun. What does that mean? Because I don't think we've ever gone underground in One Piece, really. So what is this fire supposed to be? If we are to believe that the serpent is the Red Line, then it would also be doing the Ouroboros thingy. I don't know, because I'm kind of like, I think the serpent is a part of the thing that allowed them to conquer the world. But it could be the red line as well. Because it has like a bunch of markings on it that is kind of like, oh. And why is there a literal celestial dragon? Like, there was a literal dragon among the stars. A literal celestial dragon. I have always said, why are the celestial dragons called celestial dragons? It makes no sense. What's that even mean? And there's a dragon among the stars. Literally, a celestial dragon. I don't know what this means. Okay, let me get caught up. If you look at the mural, it seems like the world was mostly cities, land, and forest. That proves there's a great flood after the Void Century, like pirating started in the third chapter. Wouldn't the Great Flood be because someone used the ancient weapon? No, but the ancient weapons wouldn't be constructed, right? Bro, I am so confused. I am so confused. The timeline is all kinds of messed up in my brain now. I'm reading it as this: they dug too deep, cracked the planet, and the red line rose up, displacing water, and made it a water world with the islands spread around. I think it would be glorious if it is just they dug too deep. I think that would be like, I would actually be there. Peak fiction once again. Like, whenever I get this "we dug too deep" thing, I'm fully on board. There's a rain on the right side. I assume you mean the left side, and yes, there is. There is. Because, like, there are, like, weird lightning bolts. There are weird sparkly things in the sky, but those same sparkly things are being taken up from the underworld, but those sparkly things are also around Emu. There are so many things that are kind of like, obviously all of this is 1,000,000% intentional. I just don't know how they connect. My man Oda said I'm not doing a pirate story anymore. I am actually writing the next Lord of the Rings. Oda, give us a lore book. Original version of the Arc Maxim? I think it is, yeah. I think it is. But why is the lightning bolt going through, like, Zunisha? And I am assuming this is Zunisha. I think it's supposed to be Zunisha, but is it? It looks like it is. But why does Zunisha have the... why does it have the... There's the animals going up. Depicting Zunisha's crime? But Zunisha was punished by the world government, no? There's a boat on a wave, not Zunisha. You can see oars. Yeah, I don't know about that one. The sparkling things could be souls, divine power, humans stole it from the underworld and used as a power source and pissed off the thing. I think that's what it is. That's what I think it is. If you turn the panel upside down, you can see some other stuff. For example, a rocket at the ancient city. I don't know if that's a rocket. It could be a rocket, but I don't know if it's a rocket. He said he was punished because committed a crime. It was cursed to walk forever. Yeah, but, like, I don't really see a crime being done here, if that makes sense, you know? This is just like a... I don't even know. Zunisha climbed the Atom Tree, which is forbidden. Maybe that's his crime. You might be cooking with that. So, hypothetically, if the Devil Fruits were to grow on Atom Trees, and they use Zunisha to pick the Devil Fruits, and then they did something with the Devil Fruits? I don't know. Who said it was by the world government? I always assumed the crime was betraying Joy Boy. I never assumed that. I never did, because I thought, like, you know, like a crime betraying Joy Boy, I don't think that would be like a punishment. Because they lost, right? Like betraying a losing... I don't know. If you look at the... above the moon, there's 2 planets, and one of them on the right has a line, kind of like a red line now. I imagine if One Piece World right now is on that. Bro, I think you're right. Yeah, what the hell are those? They're like actual small planets up there. Cinemas. that really caught me off guard. That really caught me off guard. that actually stun locked me. I was like, what the hell is that? I forgot about that. It's been a while since I set that up. I'm afraid we might not get a Void Century flashback. Trying to explain the whole mural in history pre-Void Century would take Oda at least half a year, and I'm not sure we have that much time. I'ma be completely real with you, and this might be a absolutely nuclear take. Absolutely nuclear take on my part. I hope this mural is basically all we learn. A few things here and there, sure. Like, let's explain some of the concrete details, what happened, how did Emu rise to power, stuff like that. Other than that, let's have this. And that's it. I genuinely think, I'll say this right now, right? This is, I'm telling you, this is not recency bias. This is not recency bias. This will not change in a week, in a month, in 10 months. This, the first world, the second world, and third world, this is one of the hardest things that Oda has ever written. This goes so unfathomably hard to just write like this prophetic thing. I've talked about this in every video I've ever done on the main channel. I love a vague prophecy. This goes so hard. I love this. I love this. What is the second planet above the moon has the same line on it? It's like one on the Serpent Hellfire, which could indicate the red line. Okay, let's entertain this thought. Let's entertain this thought. So there is a planet in the background with the same exact marking as the serpent, right? So surely it wouldn't be like a thing where, because before Emu, atop the red line, it was Lunarians, right? So the Lunarians somehow got there. And if this serpent is what created the red line, and the red line was created because they wanted to create division in the world, how does the Lunarians fit into that? Because the Lunarians literally have fire on them. So did they touch the Forbidden Sun? Because if they touched the Forbidden Sun and enslaved people, that sounds pretty bad. But I never really got the vibe that the Lunarians would be like... I thought the Lunarians were victims of Emu, not like the ones that were actually enslaving the world. That would be a twist and a half. And actually, you're right. The big thing that I thought was Loki has the same marking on it. Did people escape to the moon after the first world, or the first world is the moon where people destroyed their planet and ascended to the earth on the Arc Maxim? Yeah, like the moon is another big thing that is just like, I don't even know. I don't even know. What if the first world was our world and One Piece is set 1,000 years from our time? I mean, that's kind of what was implied, right? Like the technology they had was infinitely more advanced than what we have even today IRL. Like they had lightsabers and stuff, and that's what we know. They had even more. And I still think the Devil Fruits are technology. I still think so. This Loki sounds like conspiracy theories on the History Channel. Blame Oda. Bro gave me an ancient mural depicting ancient gods clashing. Bro literally gave me a ancient alien story. What can I do? I think like the weird demon on the left... Like, the interesting thing about the weird demon on the left is that it's a amalgamation of all the other things. It has the horns of like Loki. It has the wings of the dragon thingy, right? And it has like the teeth and face of the big serpent. It looks like an amalgamation of multiple things, and it's holding the sun. Demon on the left is likely Blackbeard's true fruit. Think he's gonna steal the sun? I think it would be a very, very interesting twist if we genuinely learned that, like, Emu is just this little dude. Which, by the way, I think is very, very decently likely. That Emu is just this little dude with a crown, and this giant demon thing is just Blackbeard, and that's it. I'm kinda torn on that, because on one hand, it makes perfect sense, but on the other hand, like, Emu is supposed to currently be the god who sits the empty throne, right? So, I don't know. I want to know what's underneath Frankie. Which, by the way, the lightning bolt coming from the ship literally goes right to Frankie, and we don't see where it ends. If you want my like nuclear take now, I think there is something even more important underneath Frankie. That's what I think. Emu is the previous sun god. I did think about that. I did entertain the idea that there might be like, the first world might be someone who actually touched the sun and became a sun god, and that's why we know that the sun god was once like a thing that destroyed the world. I did think about that. I think the biggest thing that I just don't know where to place is the dragon that is among the stars. I don't think it's just flying. I think it's supposed to be... I think there's going to be celestial dragon lore. Because the term of celestial dragons makes no sense. Why are there dragons among the stars? Now, it would be even funnier if the entire story of One Piece is an alien story, and all of this is actually an alien thing that dropped onto the planet that was sailing across the cosmos. Like a celestial dragon was sailing through the cosmos and landed on the Earth. And that was Emu. I think that would be very funny. Anyway, I've got no idea what any of this is. This is like the coolest chapter of all time. Emu is the seed god? I'm not convinced. I think Emu could also be the forest god. Because the forest god tamed demons and the sun spread the fires of war. That seems like the ancient war. Or rather the Void Century, right? Before that chapter, I thought exactly that, but with Lunarians and moon civilizations? Yeah, I don't know. Will you do a video deep dive? Maybe. We'll see what happens, right? Because if there is a chapter coming out next week, I kind of just want to see what Oda... Cause I do think there is more. I think there is absolutely... I think this is part 1. I think this is part 1. Emu taming yokai, the Elder Stars fits. I think it's something like that. So, next week... There is actually a chapter next week. Like, you are not lying to me. There is. Next week, we are back as usual. Same time, same place. We're gonna be back. And we're gonna be yapping. 4 in a row is crazy? Absolutely. Absolutely. Gabon versus Straw Hats next chapter? Wait, this is 5? This is the 5th? I don't even know. It's been a lot. It's been a lot, and we've been eating good. Anyway, I'll leave it there for today. This has been like... I want to think about this. I'm gonna be like... Let me just tell you right now. I'm gonna be thinking about this going to bed. And like, you might think I'm joking, but I'm not. I'm gonna be thinking about the gods that we're destined not to meet. Oda was actually writing fire with this. Oh my god. And they will never meet, and they will surely meet. This is a perfect chapter. I don't even care. For me personally, this is 10 out of 10. No, nothing. Done. Cinema. Nothing more. That said, thank you for joining me on this 2.5 hour long prophecy debunking, analyzing, whatever the hell we just did chapter. I told you that Elbaf was going to be one of my favorite arcs ever. I told you. Like, if Oda gave me this prophecy over the course of 3 chapters, it would be peak. He just put it in 1. Thank you, Oda, for feeding me this fine meal. I will be back next week to eat course 2. Alright, that said, enough yappers. Thank you for joining me, and hopefully I'll be back soon, TM, with more Dark Souls, more of the usual bits and shenanigans, and all of that, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. All the gods except Sun God are metaphorical. I think also the Sun God is metaphorical. I don't think it's an actual Sun God. I think it's just the god of liberation that made the morning arrive. I don't think any of them are like literal gods. I just think you could liken them to gods because of their power, and that's it. So Emu slaying the god was Emu slaying the sun and becoming a god was just because he ascended the red line. I don't think there's like any gods at all. I think this is just people doing very bad things. Right? And I think that's why the first world starts with man was consumed by greed or succumbed to greed. I think all of this is man, which, by the way, is why I think Luffy might not have the sun god fruit. I think all of this is like shenanigans. Anyway, I'll see you back. Thank you for joining me. Have a good one. Bye-bye.